Hello, so if you remember in the last video, we talked about how to create something that looks like this with a nice little customized header along the top there. We're going to do pretty much the same thing in this video, except we are going to define a footer, our own custom footer. Now, just a couple of things to note before we get started. If you have this problem whereby the question which you've written is appearing right at the very bottom of a page and you want it actually to be on a new page, very simple way of doing that. Just come to your questions, wherever that question is, which is this question here. I'm just going to force a new page. So I'm just going to click / new page. Okay. So a little thing which perhaps you might just want to pick up on. Another thing as well, if I just quickly hide myself, if you notice that already in the footer, it's automatically putting the pages in there. We don't care about that because actually we're going to define our own. And when we define our own, that's going to disappear for us. Okay. So I'm actually going to define the first page header. The first page footer, and then I'm going to copy that across to define the running footer for the rest of the pages. So I'm just going to go / first page footer, and then again it accepts 3 inputs, and the 3 inputs, just like before, were the left, the middle, and the right. So if I just recompile that to show you the 3 different positions which we can define. So you can see it's on the left and the middle of the right. By the way, if you don't want anything, for example, in the middle, you can just get rid of you can just leave it as an empty bracket and then nothing will appear in the middle. Okay, so it seems obvious, but I thought I'd point that out. Okay, cool. So let's actually think about what we want to put here. Well, actually on the left one, I think I'm just going to stick with theme. I'm actually going to upload an image and I'm going to upload my web address. So again, similar to before, I'm just going to come up here to upload. You can again select from your computer. I'm just going to drag and drop. I think that's nice and easy for me. Okay, and that will then bring it in here. Now the left, remember I want to include my graphics. So I'm going to go include graphics. Okay, and my width, this time I want my width to be 0.3 of my text width. So I've already kind of seen how much I want here. And I think 30% of my text width works well for this particular image, but of course you can fiddle around with whatever image you've got. And you notice that if I open and close my curly brackets, I can always type in what my name is. So in this case, image web address. By the way, another thing as well, when you upload your images, please make sure there are no spaces in your images. So if you really want spaces, use an underscore. But if you start putting spaces in here, it doesn't always work that well with LaTeX or Overleaf. So okay, I want image web address. I'm just going to click that one and it will install automatically. So if I recompile, you will see down here on the left that there will be my web address, which will appear down there. Okay, cool. Okay, let's actually have a look at the middle then. Now in the middle, I really want the number of pages. Okay, so the page number. So I'm just simply going to change middle. First of all, I want it to be in the color of washout gray, which I defined in the last video. So this one up here. So I'm going to go / text color, and I'm going to go washout gray, close the brackets. And then what do I actually want to go here? Well, I first of all want it to be in bold. So I'm going to go Control B for text BF. And I'm going to type page. Now, I want to use whatever that page number is. So whether it be page 1, page 2, page 3. So the way to do that is just simply to use the command / the page. Okay? And I'm going to / the page like so. Now, if I recompile that, then what you will see is that the middle will change to page 1. Okay? And then page 2 and then page 3 when I define the rest of the footers. But what I really want to do is actually have it as page 1 of however many pages are in the document. I think that would be quite nice, because in that way if a student is sitting my exam, then they will know how many pages they've got left to turn, and it will give them an idea of how far they are through the exam. Okay, so I'm going to go actually the page, where it says the page, I'm going to put a space, and I'm going to go of, and here I'm actually going to put the last page. So I need to specify to LaTeX what I mean by the last page. So I'm actually just going to scroll down right to the end of my document, and just before I have end questions, that there is going to be my last page. So I'm going to put a label. I'm going to go / label, open and close brackets, and I can call my label whatever I like. I think last page seems relatively sensible. And what that enables me to do is if I come back up here to page, the page of, I can just go page ref. Okay, and I can just simply use the reference which I've used, which in this case is last page. I can either type it, but nicely Overleaf suggests it for me. So I'm just going to click that. Now if I click recompile, you can see there's 2 pages in the document, so it should say page 1 of 2, which it does too nicely. Only issue with this, and it is only a slight issue, you can see here that I've got page 1 and then immediately there's no space between the 1 and the of. Reason being is because when I use the command the page, I need to tell LaTeX that I'm finishing that command. So in the same way that I begin a command with a backslash, I end a command with a backslash as well. And that will just basically put a space between one and the of. So there you go, that works nicely, okay? Now, so I've got the left-hand footer, the middle footer. Now I need to define what's going on with my right footer. Now actually here, I'm just going to delete right, and I'm actually going to put a couple of lines in here, just because I think it will make it a little bit clearer to follow on. Now, what I'm going to put in here is actually a marking box. So you notice that right at the very beginning, when I got you to create this exam, I told you to put add points, and I said it won't necessarily come in useful straight away, but it will come in useful later videos. Now it's coming into useful, because what I can do is use LaTeX to actually add up the number of marks which appear on this page here. Okay, so I'm going to add up 4, 2, and 4, and I should have 10 marks which appear down here in the bottom right hand corner. And I'm actually going to turn this into a marking box. So I'm going to basically put it in a box, and I'm going to put space out of 10, and then I can actually write, if I'm marking this by hand, I can actually write how many marks this student got. Okay, so what I'm going to do is come down to my footer, so I'm going to find it again, which is here. I'm going to put in a T color box. So I'm going to begin and end my T color box, like so, and nicely, because LaTeX got the hang of it now, it will end the T color box for me. Okay, I'm first of all going to define a few different parameters. Now again, hopefully you've had a chance to play around with the different parameters that exist to get it looking exactly how you want. These are just the parameters which I like. So I'm going to go enhanced. I'm going to choose the color of the background, so Colback, and I'm just going to do that as white. And also I quite like the fact that the frame would be the same color as the rest of the text outside of the box. So in other words, the washout gray that I've defined. So I'm going to go Col frame, so the color of the frame will be washout gray. Okay, and I'm also going to choose this to be an H box, I think. Yeah, I'm going to change this to be a H box, so a horizontal box. Okay, fine. Now I'm in a position whereby I can actually put stuff in my T color box. So I'm actually going to open and close my curly brackets, and I'm ready to put stuff in my T color box. Now it's very easy. What I'm going to put in there is just simply the number of points on the page. Okay, let's first of all make this bold. So Control B, and I'm just simply going to go points on page. And I need to reference this, okay? So the number of points on page, I need to actually tell LaTeX what page I'm referring to, okay? I know it seems obvious, but I'm actually going to put the page here. So if I put the page, it basically says, tell me how many points there are on this particular page, okay? So on the page, this particular page. So if I recompile this, let's see what I get. Take a little bit of time, because obviously it's T color box, but this right over here should basically become, okay, it becomes this up here. The reason why this has gone a little bit wrong is because I need to define what's going on the rest of my page. So actually I'm just going to move this up a little bit more, move this up a little bit more, and move this up a little bit more. Oops, text. Okay, so it's all basically in line. Let's see if that works instead. Sometimes, you know, things like this happen. You just need to troubleshoot and just try different things out. So here I'm just basically putting everything back in line. You notice I put some lines in space. That was the problem, okay? Because I basically put space in between to show you what the T color box would look like, okay? Then it didn't like that at all, okay? So basically it ended up mucking up. But you can see that basically down here now, I've got a T color box in the bottom right-hand corner, and the number of points which appear on the page, which in this case is 10, appears down here. Now I want to just change this ever so slightly. First of all, I don't like the fact it's black color font, so I'm going to change this to be text color, and I'm going to change this to be washout grey. Just make sure I put my brackets in the right place, like so. Okay, so that 10 should now effectively change to a nice grey, which it does do. Okay, what else can I do? Well, actually, I would like it if that 10 was just a little bit bigger. Okay. So I'm just going to make this a large font. Okay, so I'm just going to simply go backslash, and I'm just going to change this lowercase large. Okay, lowercase large. And this will basically just change the font from 12 points to a larger font. Okay, so I think that's slightly better. Okay, that's getting there. What else can I do? Okay, I think first of all, what would be quite nice is to actually have it out of 10. So a space out of 10. The way that I can define this is just before I have the page, okay, sorry, just before I have points on page, I'm just going to do an ordinary slash, so an ordinary forward slash like this. So if I then go recompile, it will then have a slash, and then it'll be out of 10. Now all I need to do is just basically put some space in front of the out of 10. So if I come right to the very beginning of my T colour box, which is here before the text colour, I'm going to basically put some H space in here, some horizontal space. So you notice before we've used vertical space, now I'm going to put H space. Okay, and again I'm going to put it as a star because I definitely want horizontal space here and I want to tell LaTeX that. And I don't know, let's suppose I put something like 20 millimeters of horizontal space in here. Okay, I think that works nicely. I think that's big enough so that people can write how many marks this student got. So say, for example, they didn't get the first question right, but the second two questions they got right, so 2A and 2B, then that means I could put 6 out of 10 there. So just a nice way of keeping tally of the score. And of course, the nice thing about it being in the bottom right-hand corner is that if I'm coming to mark this, I just simply need to go from the bottom right-hand corner, I just need to flick through, go right, 6 plus 4 plus 7 plus 2 plus 3, and I can just simply add the marks up nice and easily that way. Just one final thing that I want to do. I want to actually move this page 1 of 2. I want to move it slightly up because I'm worried that this might be chopped off by a printer if the printing settings aren't quite right. So I'm just going to move this up. So which one was that? It was this one here. It's the page of page reference the page. Notice that the code is getting a little bit messy now, but I think we can still dig through. So all I'm going to do is just move it up using VSpace. Okay, so I'm going to go VSpace, / VSpace. I'm going to use a star to tell it I definitely want to move it. And in this case, because I'm going to move it upwards, I'm going to do it negative. I want to move it downwards, it'll be positive. I want to move it upwards, I'm going to do it negative. And I think negative 8 millimeters will be fine here. So if I now click recompile, let's see what we get. It should move up just a little bit. Okay, so yeah, that's kind of moved up a little bit, I hope. I put it in the wrong place. Haha. Okay, so I need to put it right at the very beginning before I've even defined the text color. So sorry, that was my mistake. It should be before the text color. So that'll be VSpace negative 8 mil, and that should move up ever so slightly. There we go, that's better. And now I'm a little bit more confident that that's not going to chopped off by a printer. Okay. Only last thing to do then is just change it so that it appears on every single page. So I'll just copy all of that, and I'll just change first page to be running. Now if I click recompile, you can see that now it will appear on every single page nicely. Okay.